Forget about those old basic side awnings, it's all about 270s now. Unfortunately, we don't have the money or manpower to test all of our awnings this way. The first awning we're going to have a look at is the Darche Eclipse. The canvas on this one is a 260 GSM polycotton ripstop canvas. Simply put, the higher the GSM, the heavier the canvas is, which means more strength and durability. This canvas actually has a plasticky feel to it, which is very different to the canvas you would find on most swags. Before swinging the awning out, it pays to set out the supplied straps, which are stored external to the awning itself and are used to tension it. With the arms at 2 meters long, it can easily support its own weight and doesn't feel weak when you're swinging it out. This one provides 11.5 square meters of coverage thanks to the additional forward swing, something that is unique in this lineup. The tie downs are of good quality and have a sturdy feel to them too. The cam buckle is quick and reliable compared to the typical plastic buckle clip used on a lot of these situations. Swing down the 3 adjustable poles. In anything other than perfect conditions, you'll also need to set out guy ropes. The guy ropes, the pegs, and 3 additional poles are all stored external of the main awning, so keep that in mind. Having said that, after using this awning for a month camping in Tasmania, we only used the extra poles once or twice, and found it to be a solid awning in windy conditions. And with these loops, you can have almost a dozen guy ropes holding firm if the weather really turns to shit. Now as for walls, there are 3 available to enclose the awning. 2 double span walls and a single. These all zip to the awning and are designed to come down on the angle to maximise your shelter. Due to the hard ground, we're using hex pegs here, which are a nice thing if you carry power tools when camping. This wall features a zip-up door, the remaining 2 are walls only, and all the walls must be purchased separately, which can start to blow out the cost closer to the $2,000 mark. Now we'll quickly go over a few things we like and dislike, and this is all from personal experiences, not first impressions. Arm strength. This can quite easily hang without poles in good conditions, and with only a small amount of droop too. Coverage. With that forward fold and relatively short packed up length for its size, and when using the walls, this thing has great coverage. Quality hardware. Everything, from the bag, the poles, the straps, it all feels and looks of good quality. Walls. That extra bit of room gained by having that rake is a big plus. A couple things that stood out after using this awning was the canvas. It's thinner than most and has more of a plastic feel to it compared to the others in the lineup. Leaky stitching. Water started to seep through where the Velcro straps are attached to the roof. This was in heavy constant rain, but still, it shocked us. Poles. Although they're finished great, we found them to move around at the base, causing the need to straighten them up again. Having a spike on the end, or being able to peg them down, would probably solve this. Finally, a minimum of 3 guy ropes are needed to keep the poles in place. However, in poor conditions, you'll have up to 11 ropes out, which increases setup and pack up time, and kind of makes you feel like you're camping in a spider web. But overall, it's another quality product from Darche, as expected. Up next is the Howling Moon 270-degree swing on. And again, unzip the heavy duty cover and flip it over so it's out of the way. Once that's done, release the 4 plastic clips to allow the awning to fall down. Now just simply walk the awning around. This is the 2.5 swing on, also available is the 2 meter. Attached to the last pole is a strap. This allows you to clip it to your rack and pull it tight. And on a perfect day, that is the setup complete. If there is any wind around though, you want to set up the legs. They are integrated and swing down. Walls are also available. These are at an extra cost of course. Made of the same 300 GSM ripstop canvas, which has proved to be a fairly good quality so far. There are two types of walls available, one with a window and one with a door. Both are the same size and can be placed on any side. They zip on along the top and are secured to the poles using the Velcro straps. The window is opened by unzipping each side and releasing the hook and loops. This can then be rolled up out of the way. The walls attach to each other using a zip, and this makes for a fairly sealed area. The door also zips open, but is a little clumsy when compared to others. Overall, we're very happy with it, and it's held up in some really shitty weather. Alright then, pros and cons. It is freestanding, and in good conditions it will happily provide coverage without the need to swing down those poles. Although how often you actually do this? Probably minimal. The canvas. It's thick, easy to clean, and it just feels tough. Available options. It's available in 3 colours, 2 sizes, and also has a big brother, a 6-arm version with more coverage as it also swings forward. Guy ropes. They're integrated into the awning and are actually straps, not thin crappy rope. Great idea, and they're very quick to get out, and there's no losing them in your camping box. Setup time. In good conditions, this awning could be completely set up in less than a minute. Okay, some cons. First up, its size. It's quite a large item when mounted on the vehicle, but when it's freestanding and with thick canvas, I guess it's got to be. If you're looking for a slim awning for the side of your truck, this is not the one. Probably better suited on a camper trailer or maybe a larger vehicle like a troopy. The pegs. The included pegs with the awning and walls are on the smaller size and can't really handle being hit with a serious hammer. A common trait with most awnings these days. Walls. The door wall is okay, but I feel there's better out there. And the window wall, it's a good idea, however in poor conditions we've had wind and water come in through the flap as it's not sealed on the bottom edge. Some Velcro along here would solve that. The finish. It's just not finished quite as well as the bigger brands. Everything works fine, it's just not as pretty. Finally, the clips. Rather than Velcro straps, we have plastic clips used to hold the awning up. Now we've had to tie knots in the straps to stop them slipping through, and they jam in the doors when hanging down. Velcro just seems like a better option. Alright, next one. On the tracker is the Supa Wing. Now we've lived with this awning for a couple of years now, and it has been through some shit, and it is a very good awning, we know that for sure. However, let's see how it stacks up. Now, before even touching the awning, we need to lay a strap out at each side. We'll need these soon. With the awning is an external bag. This has all the poles in them. You want to spread these out so they're in easy reach for the setup. Now we can unzip and release the 3 Velcro straps. Walk the awning around and grab one of the poles you laid out earlier. Place this through the end hole and tether it using the strap. With the first one in, simply walk around inserting the poles as you go. These Supa Peg poles are easily the best ones we've seen. The final arm swings out in the opposite direction, so grab this and attach the other guy rope to hold it up in place. We also need 2 spreader poles on this one to keep everything in place, one along the front edge and one running front to back. Now with these in, we can tighten the guy rope at either end and straighten up all our poles. As for pegs, again, these are the best so far, and a very secure method to hold the pole down too. The walls, on the other hand, well, they seem pretty basic. With Velcro used to attach it to the awning, we find it not to be quite as good as the zip method. And it can be a bit fiddly too. As soon as the Velcro grabs, it can be a pain in the arse. So let's have a look. Pros and cons. First up is coverage. With that squared off front, that really does give you a lot more usable space under the awning. Stability. We rarely put out guy ropes on this awning, and sometimes don't even peg it down. It really does sit quite well. The quality. These are easily the best poles, the best pegs, and the canvas is up there too. It's all really well made. The awning cover. There's no fighting the zip here, but at the same time, it's not too baggy either. And as for cons, well, the first one would be walls. Not adjustable in height, and a good gust of wind against the wall starts to separate the Velcro, which doesn't really happen with a zip-on wall. The next one is the pole bag. Anything external to the awning is a real pain in the arse, and this pole bag is big. Anything other than a camper trailer, and you would not want to haul it around. The hinge. Now, we know it's not a self-supporting awning, but it feels really weak when setting up, and we really don't like leaving it hanging freely. This is why we get the poles and straps ready before we set out the awning. The Oztent Foxwing. Not the Series 2 that's just been released, but still very relevant. Packed up, it's probably the slimmest of the four, but it still requires external poles. After unzipping and unclipping, you'll need to attach the strap onto the opposite side. Then you can go ahead and get your poles out and spread these evenly before walking out with the awning. So as mentioned, Oztent have released a new Foxwing, but as far as fundamentals go, everything covered here will still apply to the new model, other than the poles all being stored up in the awning rather than external. Place that first pole through the awning, grab the strap and flick that over the top of the pole. Moving around to the next pole, put that through and attach the Velcro around the pole. Do this for the remaining poles and you're pretty much all done. It's that easy. As far as walls go, it's the same poly cotton canvas zipping to the awning and also to each other. They also slope outwards, giving more covered space, much like the Darche walls. Like the other three awnings here, walls cost extra, but they do really make an awning a lot more versatile. Pros. We've got to start with the size. At 2.5 meters long, it throws plenty of shade, and yet at the same time, when packed away, is very slim on the side of the vehicle, easily the smallest of these four. We love the slope of the walls, and the zips are easily the best to operate without jamming or catching. By far the lightest awning of the group, partly due to its polycotton canvas, but still good quality. The price. Even the latest Foxwing is hundreds of dollars cheaper than any of these other three. Now, if we are to fault anything, we'd have to start with the poles. Not being integrated to the awning is a massive con. So with a small size comes one thing. You will struggle getting that bag zipped back up. The new model does fix this, although they're still not a swing down pole, but they are at least stored up in the bag. And this must have been a common complaint, because you can now upgrade to a larger bag. The pegs. One look at these and you'll be buying something a little more gutsy straight away. So one of the major factors when purchasing anything, obviously the price. On the higher end is the Howling Moon, but in saying that, the Supa Wing and the Darche are both in that ballpark. And then with the Foxwing, it is less than half the price of the others. Even the newest model is still well under $1,000. Setup time is arguably more important than cost. so if it's not quick and easy to set up, you'll be hesitant to use it. The Supa Wing will take just under 5 minutes to set up, and that's without pegs, ropes or walls. On the other end of the scale is the Howling Moon. At just over 2 minutes, it's quick and you wouldn't think twice about pulling it out for a roadside lunch stop. Coverage is also important with a 270-degree awning, and of these four, surprisingly, the Howling Moon has the same coverage as the Darche. Thanks to that 2.5 metre arm length, they both cover 11.5 square metres. The thing to remember is if you're trying to cover a kitchen, then a square front or a forward pivot might be needed. There are tons of options in this area, however we don't own every single make and model, so all we can do is maybe help you in making that decision. If you think we've missed something here, let us know below. And also, what you'd like to see us review or compare in the future. Thanks for watching.